Hi everyone, welcome to your Pick a Pile reading. Today we'll be looking at what are they thinking. So, if you guys are new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you guys have any ideas for another Pick a Pile video, I would love to see them in the comment section below. But without further ado, pile number 1 here is the Spirit Within Tarot. Pile number 2 is the Gilded Tarot, and pile number 3 is the Morgan Greer Tarot. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit more time to make a decision, and then I'll get started with pile number 1. All right. So if you guys haven't chosen yet, I would highly recommend going back and pausing the video and making a decision. But without further ado, we will be asking, what is it that your person is thinking about, right? And this could be just in relation to you and possibly whatever connection you have to this person. It could be a family connection, it could be a romantic connection, any kind of connection. But just in general, what's on their mind? So I do just want to give you guys a heads up that sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them, however, I only take cards that jump out like these ones have. All right, pile number 1. So, I do just want to give you guys a quick reminder that in case you enjoyed the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups tells me that this person wants to come forward with some kind of an emotional message, right? And a lot of times I think of the Knight of Cups as a message in love. Yes, it may absolutely be, but it may also be some kind of an apology, or even just like a heartfelt message in general. I'm getting that this person really feels down on their luck, because the Wheel of Fortune is a card about positivity and luck, right? It feels like whenever it's in the upright that you're getting into a new swing, like a new swing of things, and things are really looking up, and you have all this abundance and all this positivity. But because it's in the reverse, it tells me that this person is going through a very difficult time. And like I said earlier, they feel very much down on their luck, and they feel like things aren't really panning out the way that they would like to. So because this person is seeing a lot of this like difficulty, probably in like work, home life, and whatever projects they have going on, like this person feels like their sort of quote unquote bad luck will extend forward to this connection as well if they end up talking to you. And I feel like there's a couple things going on here. Part of them is a little bit afraid that they'll be unlucky and that you won't reciprocate the feelings. And then the other part is this Tower card. So because I'm seeing this Tower card with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's telling me that this person feels like this is a necessary kind of period of bad luck, if that makes sense. Like, the Wheel of Fortune is very much a karmic card, so I feel like this person feels like it's about time that their luck kind of catches up to them, right? And I think that they've kind of been looking for this Tower moment to happen, because the Tower moment gives way to a new beginning, because it allows us to work from the ground up and really work on those things that we had built our foundation on, right? So whenever we see the Tower card, we know it's because our foundation has been basically kind of a crappy foundation, I should say. So the Tower will only collapse when it's on a faulty foundation. When it's on a very stable, firm foundation, it won't collapse. And that's why we see the Tower card in general, is because it tells us that we need to break down the tower so that we're able to have a more firm foundation in order to rebuild something much stronger, is what I'm trying to communicate here. And with this Knight of Wands in reverse with this Fool card, like, they know that they need this new beginning before they're able to really come forward, right? So the new beginning of this Fool energy really feels like this person wants to detach from their old life. Like, this person wants to come back into your life as a changed person. And, you know, the Knight of Wands gets a lot of that bad reputation for being kind of like a flighty person that comes in and out of your life. And this for sure feels like that kind of a person, or at least in the past, kind of like the player type energy. So I feel like they really want to distance themselves away from that as much as possible. And just looking further on in the reading, I see the Six of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Stability, right? And I feel like that's the kind of energy that they want to be in, you know, regardless of their gender or whatever they identify as. They want to be in this stable energy. And I feel like with this Ten of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, I feel like this person might try to buy your love a little bit. Like, at this point, it feels like very much like a romantic relationship. And, you know, with the Ten of Swords in reverse, it feels like they want to work on any kind of betrayal or any kind of heartache that's still left in the situation, because that's, you know, what the Ten of Swords is representative of. You can see that this person is like stabbed with all these swords and they have all these pains, but when it's in reverse, it's that act of taking out those swords and healing those wounds. And I feel like this person wants to put in a lot of energy towards you because we have this Six of Pentacles here. They want to do a lot of the heavy lifting, I feel, because I see this Queen of Pentacles as well, right? And the Knight of Cups makes me feel like there's a lot of like proactivity from their side. So this person definitely feels like a romantic connection. It feels like they want to come forward, but there's some kind of a blockage here that is preventing them. I feel like for sure this is one of those situations where it's like, it's not you, it's me. And that's coming from their end, because this needs to kind of sort itself out before they're able to really come forward to you and give you sort of this energy that they want to give you. But that was your reading for pile number 1. If you guys enjoyed, you're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile. But please feel free to leave a like or a comment if you enjoyed, or if the pile really resonated with you, because that's the best way to let me know. But with that being said, I'm going to move on to pile number 2, and then we can get started. So this is pile number 2, the Gilded Tarot, and we are asking, what is on their mind right now? All right, pile number 2. So, I don't know actually if you guys stuck around throughout the whole shuffling process, but it was very long. I did a lot of shuffling just now to get this last and final card, the 7 of Cups. So, I think that this person is like, they're just running, they're having obsessive thoughts and they're running through these thoughts all day and they keep cycling through and just kind of like a mouse on a cage. They keep going over and 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 over, and it just does not stop. Because that's how I felt when I was shuffling, right? I could just I felt the cards going over and over and over and over, and I feel like that's sort of like the tagline of how this person is feeling. Is they feel very repetitive and they're almost probably very anxious. And I feel like that in part has to do with the fact that we have this Knight and this Page of Pentacles here, both in reverse. So it feels like they want something to happen. And I'm getting it for a lot of you guys, this is a romantic connection. Or some kind of a family bond. Those feel like the two most common here. But they feel like they want something to happen and they want it to happen quickly. But it's just not happening. Like, this feels like one of those things where it's like, oh, I need X to happen so I can do Y, so I can do Z, right? But this person is like, when is my Knight of Pentacles coming in? And then the universe is like, you have to wait for that. And they're like, okay, but what about a Page of Pentacles? It's like, no, you have to wait for that too. Because both of these energies feel in reverse. So it feels like things that are taking a long time are taking even longer right now. And the Pentacles is the slowest moving energy here. So it feels like this person is just so frustrated that things aren't going quickly and very impatient, and things are just kind of delayed. I feel like is the name of the game here, is avoiding the delays. And we have this Hanged Man here, and I feel like in part the fact that they're in such a rush is possibly what's causing some of these delays as well. I feel like if they change their outlook and sort of like their mindset, it'll make things more conductive to occurring, basically. So if they learn to relax a little bit and they learn to really work with the energies around them instead of working against them, they'll see these results that they want a lot faster than they've been having them right now. And I feel like in part because I see this Queen of Swords. So I think that for those of you who are air signs, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, I feel like this is definitely you and your energy. And I see this Page of Cups, and this Page of Cups is looking directly at the Queen, right? So that to me tells me that they want to come forward to you, but you're a little bit on the defensive. And if you're not an air sign, like, I still feel like this is your energy. The Queen of Swords is a little bit defensive sometimes, but she's very smart and very articulate. And I feel like whenever somebody who doesn't exactly meet her standards comes to her, she's not afraid to cut that person out, right? Because she knows her value. And I feel like that's one of those things that this person really likes about you. But in order for that to even happen, they need whatever this is to happen first, right? This Page and Knight of Pentacles kind of energy. And like, I don't think it's a coincidence that we have the Page and the Knight, because the Page and the Knight is progression, and that's what they want. They want things to progress, but it's just not happening right now. And then they have the Three of Wands, which to me is like the card of I've already taken my action and there's nothing more that I can do. Like, they're waiting on the first cycle of feedback so they're able to continue moving forward, but it just feels like there's such a huge blockage here that and it might not even be that big of a deal, but to them it's like, oh, there's such like this insurmountable obstacle and I just can't do it or whatever. But it feels like there's a big obstacle and it takes time and they just want it to be now, fast, right now. And I feel like they're doing that because they see the Seven of Cups, where they're very much sitting down and really imagining what could happen and what they could do if, like, all the cards were played right. Basically, they want the stars to align so they're able to have their outcome come quickly. And I feel like, especially if they want a romantic connection with you and they see that you have options, they're kind of thinking about, like, oh, what if she or he chooses those options over me? And then I feel like that's also got them a little bit panicked and a little bit nervous. Even if you don't necessarily have any options, or if you're not interested in those options or whatever, I feel like they still are worried about it because they have the Seven of Cups here, which is the imagination fantasy card. And like I said, like, it's not a coincidence that I had to shuffle the cards over and over and over and over again to get this card about thinking and fantasizing. So I feel like they're really sitting down and thinking about it all day because they don't really have a whole lot to do. I feel like that's like the main idea, is that they're just like running these ideas over and over in their head. But that was your reading for pile number 2. If you guys enjoyed, you're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile, but please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel, and I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But with that, I'm going to move on to pile number 3. So let's get started. Alright, so this is pile number 3, the Morgan Greer Tarot. All right, so this is pile number 3, the Morgan Greer Tarot. I do just want to take a quick second to remind you guys that in case you enjoyed the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. But your overall energy here is the Magician. So I feel like this person is very confident, maybe even a little bit arrogant. They really want things to happen between you, and I feel like it's a romantic sense. But it's very interesting because I don't see a whole lot of cups. Like, I feel like this person is a little bit emotionally constipated, right? Because I see wands, 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 and I see the 2, 3, 4, but I don't see, the cups. I don't see, like, the 2 of Cups or the Knight of Cups or the Ace of Cups. Like, I just see all of this wands energy, which, I mean, is nice. It's passion, but I don't know how much longevity that could bring with it. But either way, the Magician here is the card about manifestation, right? I always tie that to the Magician because he is the master of all 4 elements, right? He has the Pentacle, the Cup, the Sword, and the Wands, right? So he's the master of all 4 elements, and he's able to conjure things out of thin air. And I feel like that's what they want to do. They want to, they want it to be magical, regardless of if they've met you or not. They want to, run into you at a corner store, or they want to run into you after a long time and then say, oh my gosh, I didn't know. What are you doing here? Let's catch up, or something like that, right? They want it to be kind of like that Hollywood perfect setting kind of a thing. And I feel like this person might even want you to say something like, oh, well, what a coincidence, just for them to turn around and say, I don't believe in coincidences, right? I feel like this person's really cheesy, but they want things to happen. I feel like they're a little bit too mechanical too, because like I said, I don't see a lot of that emotional energy. Like, they like you, they know they like you, they want to be with you, but I don't see them like opening up to you emotionally. So I see the Two of Swords down here and then the Two of Wands up here, and to have two twos right next to each other tells me that there is a lot of balance that needs to take place here. The Two of Wands talks about, both of these cards to me actually talk about like slowing down and really trying to figure stuff out, because the Two of Swords is indecision, it's inaction, it's an impasse, it's a stalemate, right? So it's like the balance of two competing ideas. So like, this person doesn't know exactly what the next course of action should be, but they're trying to figure it out here with this Two of Wands. The Two of Wands talks about formulating a plan. It talks about sitting down and thinking, what is my next move? And they have a crystal ball here, but in other depictions, that crystal ball is actually the world, and it's supposed to symbolize that they have all the tools that they need to make basically whatever plan that they could want. And with this Magician card, like, I certainly believe that they are in a good position where they're powerful and equipped to handle whatever it is that they want to do, which is come talk to you, but there's still sort of like this blockage. Because I see the Page of Rods with the Four of Wands, right? So, and the rods and wands are the same thing. It's just that this deck calls them rods. But I feel like they want to like come forward to you and say something like really in their mind that they think is smooth, like, why aren't we more committed, or something like that. But I feel like with this Four of Wands, there may be the potential for a more committed relationship down the line, but I'm seeing this, Page of Wands with the page isn't very mature. The page is very flighty, very kind of in and out, kind of a message type person. So I feel like this person wants to be with you, but they're afraid of the commitment. They're afraid of sort of the big boy and big girl kind of topics, right? I feel like this is a person who has a really fun time. And, there's a lot of sexual energy here because the rods are sexual energy, but I don't see sort of that longevity, right? And they really want to come forth and give you a lot of communication, because the Eight of Wands is called the Arrows of Love, and it talks about quick, fast communication. And for some of you, this might actually involve travel. And the Page of Rods is also just that. It's travel. It's communication. It's a message, right? And it's a passionate message. So I feel like you guys are looking at a lot of passion right now. But like I said, I just... No, so what my advice to you is, like, know what it is that you want out of this connection, because I feel like this is conductive to really great sex, really great, like, energy where you just, like, sit down, have a cup of coffee, have a really good time, and then, like, move on back to your own lives. I don't see sort of, like, that grown-up energy, like, I don't see any pentacles, like, for stability. I don't see any cups for the emotional aspects, and the only sword card that I have that's like mental and logical is the one where everything is at a stalemate. So I'm thinking that this person with this Three of Wands here wants to kind of test the waters with you a little bit and see what your response is to this whole situation and what it is that you want. So I'm thinking that you need to play a little bit of like give and take when it comes to like what it is that's going on here. So basically what I'm trying to get at here is, like, if this works for you, then it's going to work really well for you. But if you're looking for sort of like a more stable a relationship with longevity, like, this may not be the connection for you. But don't just assume that it's not. Go up to them and ask them, like, what are your intentions? What do you want to do? Can we make this this, or is it that, or what is this? Because I feel like with the Magician card, like, it could be anything, but in the current state that it's in, it's not that, right? So decide very well on what it is that you want to do, because being in this Two of Swords energy where you're confused, where you're not necessarily decisive on what it is that you want, isn't really going to help you. Which is actually really weird, because this, even though it's what is on their mind, it kind of became into, it kind of turned into like, what are you thinking? What do you want? And I feel like that's a result of you guys kind of having the upper hand here. I don't want to say that, but like, at the end of the day, this person really likes you, but they don't know where they want to go with this. So I feel like that puts you in a good position to decide and talk to them about it and see how that goes. But that was your reading for pile number 3. If you guys enjoyed, you're more than welcome to go back and choose another pile. But please leave a like or a comment, because it really helps out the channel. And I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.